Hi guys, today we're delving into the juiciest relationship drama on Reddit. In this first story, OP's literally had her tubes tied, but her fiance is still somehow convinced that she's gonna try and baby trap him. My fiance accused me of baby trapping, even though my tubes are tied. Post by Throwaway. I'm 27 and my fiance is 28. I had an argument with my fiance this morning. We've been dating for 2 years, and for the most part, everything's been going well. We've been planning a quiet backyard ceremony so that we can save up for a house instead. We've been communicative and managed to get through most fights in the past, but this takes the cake. He'd been evasive for the past 2 weeks about the wedding or any future plans we'd made, and I basically had to corner him this morning before leaving for work to ask him what's going on. Turns out, while he was dog sitting for his uncle, they had a chat that stuck with him. When they were talking about life and how things had been, his uncle admitted that he resented his ex-wife for baby trapping him. And now he's divorced, while his ex-wife is dating again, and my fiance's cousin is an entitled jerk who terrorized him when they were both teenagers. This has been sitting on his mind. He says he thinks I'm about to spring a pregnancy announcement on him and trap him into marriage. Wait, but aren't you already engaged? Didn't he ask you to marry him? Does he want to marry you? This is despite the fact that he knows I don't want children. I basically raised my siblings and missed out on my childhood. Okay, so that makes even less sense. I told him that I didn't want to have kids when we first started dating. We were both on the same page, and I even asked him to get a vasectomy, which is why it's so surprising that he thinks that I'm trying to baby trap him. Thing is, the first chance I got, which still took a long time, I got my tubes tied. This just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Your fiance is basically like, she said on the first date that she doesn't ever want to have kids. She asked me to get a vasectomy. She's literally gotten her tubes tied, and I've already asked her to marry me. But is this a long con? Is she gonna somehow magically get pregnant and force me to marry her, despite us already being engaged and it supposedly being something that I want? Just can't trust these bitches, am I right? I literally cannot get pregnant. I reminded him of this fact, and that made him go really quiet. He didn't even apologize or say anything. So I told him that if he's gonna be like this over some made up issue in his head, then I don't know how much I can trust him in a real crisis. Now I'm wondering if I was too harsh and what steps we can take to move forward. Or if I'm just not angry enough and should just end it. I have no idea what to do right now. Honestly, this whole thing just doesn't make any sense, and it kind of makes me suspect that either he's cheating on her or regrets asking her to marry him and is looking for a way out. And this dumb reason is what he came up with. That alone would be enough of an ick for me. At least come up with a better excuse. Update. It's been an exhausting week, both at home and at work. Basically, we're not engaged anymore. He's moving back in with his parents, and our relationship is over while he works on himself. Ugh, no, I hope it's over permanently. Girl, have some standards. How is this guy 28? To answer some questions, no, he wasn't cheating, nor was there a secret baby on the side. Half yes to him having second thoughts, and half yes to him being influenced by family and friends. I won't go into too many details, but his uncle's family were always awful to him. They were always the go-to babysitters, and he has trouble standing up to that side of the family. He's impressionable, and has trouble separating fact from fiction because of their influence. Another factor is that one of his formerly child-free friends announced that his wife's pregnant, and he's excited about it. My ex-fiance's been wondering if he'll change his mind, especially since his parents do want to have grandchildren and have been asking when we're gonna have them. So first he was all worried that you're gonna baby trap him, and once it was pointed out that you literally cannot have children and therefore can't baby trap him, now he's all of a sudden worried that he'll change his mind and want kids. Yeah, this guy just can't keep his story straight. It's simple, he just can't commit. Like, he shouldn't have to. No one should get married when they're not ready, but this guy is such a coward. Just fess up and admit that you're not ready. It's not that deep. So, after dog sitting for his uncle, apparently all of that combined in his mind to form the idea that I'd changed my mind and I'd surprise him with it, which is the core of the matter to me. Whether he forgot that I had my tubes tied doesn't matter. He was projecting his fears, anxiety, and trauma onto me and punishing me for something that I didn't even do or say, and then made me out as a deceptive partner because of that projection. He stopped trusting me because he was afraid of what the warped version he'd built up in his mind might do. And that's not okay, and that's why I ended it. He's been moving his stuff out all week and has told me that he's going back into therapy. His parents will be there to help him, and they separately apologised to me. They had no idea how bad his anxiety was. I'll be there to support him as a friend, and I've been trying to say that it's on pause, but typing this out, it also makes me realise that no matter what, I wouldn't be able to win against those fears, nor can I trust him to ever really fully trust me against them. Okay, good. I'm glad she's realised that. He basically pulled the, "You cheated in my dream, how dare you!" Like, how can he even work through issues like that? They haven't even got a toe base in reality. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my boyfriend children because he won't marry me? Post by Patient Art 406. I'm 31 and my boyfriend is 33, and we've been dating for 7 years. Early on, we talked about marriage, kids, a house, the whole shebang. I like kids, and I think I'd be a good mother. I'd like to have children, but I wouldn't be upset if we didn't have any. Basically, I'm happy with my life as it is, and I could be happy with children as well. My boyfriend, on the other hand, has always dreamed of being a dad, and recently, he said that we're in the place to start trying for some. I was a little confused by this. I told him early on, within the first year, that I would never have children with a man that I'm not married to. I feel like children are a much bigger commitment than marriage, so marriage should come first. Additionally, if a man doesn't love me and isn't committed enough to spend the rest of our lives together, I don't see why I would make the sacrifice of bearing his children. Maybe that's old-fashioned of me, but I explained all this to him once again. He got awkward and said that he just doesn't want to get married. He said that men get screwed over in divorces all the time, and he just doesn't think marriage is important or a smart choice. But he wants to have kids? Does he seriously think that sidestepping marriage is some loophole to all the responsibility and commitment of having kids? Like, has he not heard of child support? I said, that's fine, we don't have to get married, and I'm happy with our life as it is. We just won't be buying a house together or having children together. We can each buy our own house, live in one, and rent the other one out. If we aren't getting married, then I don't really want to entangle our finances in any way. He blew up at me, said that I'm punishing him for not wanting to marry me. But she just agreed to basically do everything the way he wants. Not tie up their lives financially, never commit, despite what they'd originally agreed. I said, no, I'm not. Having children outside of marriage goes against my personal values. I also told him that since he's super against the idea of marriage, I'm not going to marry him now just for a shut-up ring that he only gives me because he wants kids. I want him to actually want to marry me. And if not, that's okay. Children and marriage are off the table for us. If he wants kids, he'll have to leave me and find someone who'll have kids for him without expecting any stability in return. And maybe I can find someone who actually wants to marry me, and maybe or maybe not have kids. I said all this to him. He's been very distressed and emotionally distraught. He has a disease that very much limits his life expectancy. He has said that if he doesn't have kids ASAP, he probably shouldn't have them at all because otherwise he wouldn't be able to see them into adulthood. Am I the a-hole? Sounds like he's laying the guilt on thick. It sucks he hasn't got long to live, but that's still not a reason to try and make someone have your kids. If this was such a big concern, why wasn't he upfront about his expectations from the start? You know, the way she was? This guy essentially wants a one-way marriage, where he gets all the benefits and she takes on all the risks. Like, he wants her to take on all that risk that comes with pregnancy and childbirth, and what? Not put his name on the birth certificate? And of course, care for him when he's ill because in sickness and in health. But he can't risk marrying her just in case she screws him over in the divorce. Like he's never heard of single mothers being screwed over before. Glad OP is standing up for herself. Trying to guilt someone into having your kids is weird. Oh, so you do pick up after yourself and I'm just exaggerating? Let's give every man for himself a try then. Posted by DangerousWeb2497. Years ago, when I just moved in with my boyfriend, now fiancé, he was terrible at picking up after himself. He was a self-admitted mama's boy and went directly from his parents' house to our shared home. Barely 3 weeks in, and I was fed up. So when I told him that I was tired of picking up after him and acting like his maid, he said, "That's not true, we both clean up equally." After a bit of back and forth, he said, "Well, if you don't believe me, then let's split the house. You take care of your half and I'll take care of mine." I took that literally. Got painter's tape and divided every single room in half, including the kitchen counter, inside the fridge, and the bathroom counter. Also, he was cocky and suggested 2 months. I shortened that to 1. Not even a week in, and his half looked like a pigsty. And he had no more food because I'd stopped grocery shopping and cooking for him too. Okay, so it's one thing to not notice how much mess you make, but where did he think his food came from? The only exception I made was cleaning the toilet and the shower because I'm not about to use a filthy bathroom to make a point. He bought me flowers and chocolate, apologised for his behaviour, and started learning how to be an adult. We are now 8 years into this relationship, and he's an amazing man, and we're about to get married. Hey, a happy ending! Not gonna lie, when I read the flowers and chocolate thing, I just assumed that he'd go back to being lazy after placating her. I guess he just genuinely hadn't realised how much she was doing. Good on him for acknowledging that and making the change. Alright, let's end the video on a high. Have a great rest of your day everyone. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Bye!